Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Kính bạch thầy, kính thưa toàn thể đại chúng. Sáng hôm nay mình sẽ thực tập ngồi thiền trước khi mình bắt đầu lễ hàng tuần. Giờ đây mời đại chúng tìm cho mình một tư thế ngồi cho dễ chịu, giữ lưng vừa thẳng. Mắt của mình có thể nhắm mắt lại, thả lỏng hai vai. Hai bàn tay có thể chồng trên nhau và để trong lòng chân, hoặc để trên hai đầu gối. Miệng khép lại và mỉm cười nhẹ, và buông thư toàn thân. Dear respected Thai, dear noble community, this morning we will have our morning sitting meditation before we start our Sunday service. So we invite you to find yourself a comfortable posture. Make sure your back is upright, your shoulders relax. You would like to close your eyes. Your hands can be placed on your lap or on your knees. Keep a light smile on your face and relax your whole body. Tại chúng trở về hơi thở. Để ý những hơi thở ra vào. Khi mình thở vào, mình nhận biết đây là hơi thở vào. Khi mình thở ra, mình nhận biết đây là hơi thở ra. Vào, ra. So bring all your attention to your breathing. Become aware of your in-breath as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, become aware of your out-breath. There's no need to control or force our breathing, but breathe naturally. Mình không cần suy nghĩ về quá khứ hoặc lo về tương lai, hay về sự căng thẳng, công việc, mà mình trở về với hơi thở, trở về bản chính mình, để mình chăm sóc thân tâm. We don't need to think about the past or worry about the future, or bring our attention to our stress, to our work. But we come back to our breathing, come back to yourself, to take care of both your body and your mind. Mình sẽ bắt đầu với ngồi thiền bằng 3 tiếng chuông. We begin the session with 3 sounds of the bell. Tôi biết tôi đang thở vào, thở ra. Tôi biết tôi đang thở ra, vào, ra. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out. Thở vào, hơi thở vào càng sâu. Thở ra, hơi thở ra càng chậm. Sâu, chậm. Breathing in, my in breath grows deep. Breathing out, my out breath goes slowly. Deep, slow. Thở vào, ý thức toàn thân. Thở ra, buông thơ toàn thân. Ý thức, buông thơ. Breathing in, I become aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I relax my whole body. Aware of my body, relaxing my body. Thở vào, an trú trong hiện tại. Thở ra, giây phút đẹp tuyệt vời. Hiện tại tuyệt vời. Dwelling in the present moment, I breathe in, breathing out. I know that this is a wonderful moment. Present moment, wonderful moment. Mời đại chúng xả chân và xoa bóp. Please take some time to release and massage your legs. Và xin nhắc nhở đại chúng, vì nào có cell phone xin nhớ tắt cell phone hoặc chuyển qua chế độ room để mình giữ buổi lễ thanh tịnh và trang nghiêm. Reminder for those who have a cell phone, please make sure you have turned off your cell phone or you switched it to vibrate mode so that we keep the atmosphere of the ceremony serene. Thank you.
Kính mời đại chúng cùng quỳ xuống mở trang số 0. Trầm hướng đông sáng ngời chúng con. Vàng vàng khói kết mây lan cúng dường, đạo niệm mau đã lan truyền nơi cùng nơi. Nhờ chân lý chúng sanh đều thoát luân hồi, đồng quý kê quỳ dưới đại sen, giang hóa thông tê kia màu thắm tươi cành. Đại quang minh sáng huy hoàng trang nghiêm, hơn 10 phương điều nở hào quang an lành. Nhiên đạo nguyên chuyên soi khắp cùng quần sanh, phần đạo đồng cùng nhau tu tinh ta mau biến thành. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Xin cho khói trầm thông kết thành mây năm sắc dâng lên khắp 10 phương, cúng dường vô lượng bụng vô lượng chư Bồ Tát cùng các thánh hiền tăng, nơi phạm giới dung thông kén đài sen rực rỡ, nguyện làm kẻ đồng hành trên con đường giác ngộ sinh mọi loài chúng sanh, từ bỏ cõi lặng nguyên theo đường giới định tuệ quay về trong tỉnh thức. Chúng con kính dâng hương lên bùn và chư vị Bồ Tát. Hôm nay đệ tử chúng con một lòng chí thành, đến trước Tam Bảo chí thành đảnh hương cúng dường. Ba nói vô thường trì tụng kinh chữ xưng tán hồng danh, công đức cầu cho thế giới hòa bình chúng sanh an lạc. Lại trong pháp duyên này chúng con hôm nay cầu siêu cho chương linh, đồng thì hứa pháp danh quảng hòa quánh hữu lan, huỳnh nồng tương pháp danh quảng thường, nô công truyền pháp danh trí giác, nguyện thì nộp yên pháp danh diệu tâm. La kiến thành lễ thì lụy pháp danh chân tú, huyền thư hàm xưng thuan company, hoàng lập lia nguyện văn hóa huỳnh, thì tỉnh pháp danh diệu giác tăng trưởng, phẩm minh dũng pháp danh nguyên tấn, nguyện thì bài pháp danh diệu liên lễ định nôn, trần bình huy pháp danh minh hiền, phan văn phước pháp danh mệnh lạc lễ thành thọ pháp danh tuệ dẫn, đồng thì 10 pháp danh nhật vang, tràng quốc toàn nguyện trung đắng pháp danh quảng lạc, phạm minh dũng pháp danh nguyên tấn, đặng khải chiếu pháp danh tuệ tánh, huỳnh khải nương nguyện thì hòa pháp danh diệu khai, nguyện văn sơn trăng thì lời pháp danh diệu đức, nguyện văn từ pháp danh an tịnh, trần thì một pháp danh từ tâm an, vương lầm mô nô tôn chi, trần thì nguyệt pháp danh nguyên lạc, nậu định duy Timothy pháp danh ân độ, Nguyễn Văn Đoán, Nguyễn Văn Gia pháp danh Trơn Hải, Lương Vinh, Sam Cam Lan, Trương Bá Thành pháp danh Thiền Thành, Tô Bình Khiêm pháp danh Đức Bổn, Lâm Nghĩa Thuần. Nguyện tất cả chương linh nhương nhờ tam bảo lừng, đường đồng về đây nghe kinh siêu sanh tình đồng. Lại nguyện cầu an cho chư Phật tử Lê Văn Sa pháp danh Minh Trí, Nguy Thông Minh Huỳnh Thị Xuân Mai, Lưu Thị Mỹ Chu Đi Linh Sa pháp danh Từ Đàn, Trần Thị Một pháp danh Từ Tâm An, Vũ Nam, Nguyễn Thị Hòa pháp danh Diệu Lan, Nguyễn Thanh Văn Đoàn Tuấn Kiệt pháp danh Huệ Phước, Lâm Đi Thái Raymond, Trần Lý Văn pháp danh Trơn Nhã, Đàm Thị Bền pháp danh Diệu Minh, Hộ Thị Phùng pháp danh Tư Chuyển, Sư Săng Hy, Nguyễn Phú Đồng, Trần Phạm Thái Anthony pháp danh Thiện Phước, Trần Kiên Tính Huỳnh Thị Tuyết Huệ pháp danh Diệu Tú, Trần Nhật Phú pháp danh Minh Hoàng, Hoàng Thị Hương Giang, Trần Hoàng Nhật Nhi, Trần Hoàng Dần Khang, Vườn Hải Sinh, Nguyễn Thị Hòa pháp danh Từ Ấn Thuận, Cao Nhung, Nguyễn Thị Kim Phường pháp danh Từ Hòa, Lễ Thị Cày Tổ Phụng Hiệp, Huỳnh Vì Bảo pháp danh Thanh Pháp, Nguyễn Thị Kim Phùng pháp danh Từ Hòa, Nguyễn Thị Xuân pháp danh Diệu Nhiên, Nậu Thị Thành, Trần Thị Mò, Nguyễn Văn Phước, Anne Elizabeth Peterson, Marie Petit, Hoàng Mộng Dương. Nguyện chư Phật tử thân tâm an tịnh, bình khổ tiêu trừ, thường được an lành, xa lìa khổ ách. Nhượng mong ngoái đất tự bi quán giác, đạo tràng chứng minh gia hầu. Nam mô chứng minh sư Bồ Tát, Nam mô thập phương thường trụ tam bảo tác đại chứng minh. Sen quý nở đà giác, nộ hào mang chiếu rạng mười phương. Trí huệ vừa thầm pháp giới, tự bi thông nhuận nhon xâm. Vừa thấy dung nhan điều nữ, trong nhàn phiền não sanh không. Hướng về tán dương công đức, tinh chuyên đạo nghiệm vung trầm. Nhân tâm kinh lệ, bồn pháp thuận thường trợ trong mười phương. Nhân tâm kinh lệ, đơn bổn sư bồ ma thính ca mâu ni. Nhân tâm kinh lệ, liền vì tổ sư quan thời đại từ Tây Trung ca đê Việt Nam. Phật. Kính mời chúng mời trang số 4. Please turn to page 4. Nam mô tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Nam mô tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. The Dharma is deep and lovely. We now have a chance to see, study, and to practice it. We vow to realize its true meaning. Nam mô A Đăng Bồ Ma Sư Bồ Ma Thánh Ca Mâu Ni. Nam mô A Đăng Bồ Ma Sư Bồ Ma Thánh Ca Mâu Ni. Nam mô A Đăng Bồ Sư Bồ Ma Thánh Ca Mâu Ni. Pháp Bồ Ma Cao siêu mâu nhiệm cơ duyên mây đường thọ trì. Xin nguyện đi vào miền tuệ tinh thông giáo nghĩa nguyện kinh tế niết bàn nhà ba la mật đa Bồ Tát quán tự tại khi quán chiếu thầm sao ba nhà ba la mật thứ nhiều pháp chi độ vòng soi thấy năm quận điều có từ tam thơ trước điều ấy xong gái vừa thoát tất cả mọi khổ đau ân nạn nghe đây xa lời từ xa chẳng có gì không không chẳng có gì sáng sáng chính thần là không chính thần là sáng còn lại bốn quận kia cùng điều như vậy cả xa đời tự giác thế thảy mọi pháp điều không không sai cũng không diệt không giới cùng không xa không thêm cùng không bớt cho nên trong tánh không có sáng tỏ tượng cũng không có hành thơ không có nhàm nhị tâm nghĩ sao cam không có sáng tánh nữ vì số pháp sáu tràng không có 18 giới tự
Xin đại chúng lắng nghe Kinh 8 Điều Giác Ngộ của các bậc đại nhân. Là đệ tử Bụt thì nên hết lòng ngày cũng như đêm đọc tụng và quán niệm về 8 điều mà các bậc đại nhân đã giác ngộ. Điều thứ nhất là giác ngộ rằng cuộc đời là vô thường, chế độ chính trị nào cũng dễ sụp đổ. Những cấu tạo của bốn đại đều trống rỗng và có tác dụng gây đau khổ. Con người do tập hợp của năm ấm mà có, lại không có thực ngã, sinh diệt thay đổi không ngừng, hư ngụy và không có chủ quyền. Trong khi đó, tâm ta lại là một nguồn suối phát sinh điều ác, và thân ta là một nơi tích tụ của tội lỗi. Quán chiếu như trên thì dần dần thoát được cõi sinh tử. Điều thứ hai là giác ngộ rằng càng lắm ham muốn thì lại càng nhiều khổ đau, rằng bao nhiêu cực nhọc trong cõi sinh tử đều do ham muốn mà có. Trong khi đó, người ít ham muốn thì không bị hoàn cảnh sai sự, lại cảm thấy thân mình và tâm mình được thư thái. Điều thứ ba là giác ngộ rằng vì tâm ta rong ruổi chạy theo danh lợi, không bao giờ biết chán, cho nên tội lỗi ta cũng theo đó mà càng ngày càng lớn. Các bậc Bồ Tát thì khác hẳn, họ luôn luôn nhớ nghĩ đến phép tri túc, an vui sống đời đàm bạc để hành đạo và xem sự nghiệp duy nhất của mình là sự thực hiện trí tuệ giác ngộ. Điều thứ tư là giác ngộ rằng thói quen lười biếng đưa đến chỗ đọa lạc. Vì vậy con người phải chuyên cần hành đạo, phá giặc phiền não, hàng phục 4 loại ma và ra khỏi ngục tù của 5 ấm và 3 giới. Điều thứ 5 là giác ngộ rằng chính vì vô minh nên mới bị giam hãm trong cõi sinh tử. Các vị Bồ Tát thường xuyên nhớ rằng phải học rộng, biết nhiều, phát triển trí tuệ, đạt được biện tài để giáo hóa cho mọi người, để cho tất cả đạt tới niềm vui lớn. Điều thứ 6 là giác ngộ rằng vì nghèo khổ cho nên người ta sinh ra nhiều oan hận và căm thù, và vì thế lại tạo thêm những nhân xấu. Các vị Bồ Tát biết thế cho nên chuyên tu phép bố thí, coi kẻ ghét người thương như nhau, bỏ qua những điều ác mà người khác đã làm đối với mình, và không đem tâm ghét bỏ những ai đã làm ác. Điều thứ 7 là giác ngộ rằng 5 thứ dục vọng gây nên tội lỗi và hoạn nạn. Người xuất gia tuy sống trong thế tục nhưng không nhiễm theo cái vui phàm tục, thường quán niệm rằng tài sản của mình chỉ là 3 chiếc áo ca sa và 1 chiếc bình bát, tất cả đều là pháp khí, rằng chỉ nguyện xuất gia của mình là sống thanh bạch để hành đạo, giữ phạm hạnh cho thanh cao và đem lòng từ bi để tiếp xử với tất cả mọi người. Điều thứ 8 là giác ngộ rằng vì lửa sinh tử cháy bừng cho nên mọi loài đang chịu biết bao niềm thống khổ. Biết vậy cho nên ta phải phát tâm đại thừa, nguyện cứu tế cho tất cả mọi người, nguyện thay thế cho mọi người mà chịu khổ đau vô lượng, khiến cho tất cả chúng sanh đều đạt tới niềm vui cứu cánh. 8 điều nói trên là những điều giác ngộ của các bậc đại nhân, Bụt và Bồ Tát. Những vị này đã tinh tấn hành đạo, tu tập từ bi và trí tuệ, đã khởi thuyền pháp thân đến được bến niết bàn. Khi trở về lại cõi sinh tử, độ thoát cho chúng sanh, các vị đều dùng 8 điều giác ngộ ấy để khai mở và chỉ đường cho mọi người, khiến cho chúng sanh ai cũng giác ngộ được cái khổ của sinh tử, lìa bỏ được ngũ dục và hướng tâm vào con đường thánh. Nếu đệ tử Bụt mà thường đọc tụng 8 điều này thì mỗi khi quán niệm diệt được vô lượng tội, tiến tới giác ngộ, mau lên chánh giác, vĩnh viễn đoạn tuyệt với sinh tử, thường trú trong sự an lạc.
Discourse on the 8 realizations of the great beings. Wholeheartedly, day and night, disciples of the Awakened One should recite and meditate on the 8 realizations discovered by the great beings. The first realization is the awareness that the world is impermanent. Political regimes are subject to fall. Things composed of the 4 elements are empty, containing within them the seeds of suffering. Human beings are composed of 5 aggregates and are without a separate self. They are always in a process of change, constantly being born and constantly dying. They are empty of self and without a separate existence. The mind is the source of all confusion, and the body, the force of all unwholesome actions. Meditating on this, you can be released from the round of birth and death. The second realization is the awareness that more desire brings more suffering. All hardships in daily life arise from greed and desire. Those with little desire and ambition are able to relax, their body and mind free from entanglement. The third realization is the awareness that the human mind is always searching outside itself and never feels fulfilled. This brings about unwholesome activity. Bodhisattvas, on the other hand, know the value of having few desires. They live simply and peacefully so they can devote themselves to practicing the way. They regard the realization of perfect understanding to be their only career. The fourth realization is the awareness that indolence is an obstacle to practice. You must practice diligently to transform unwholesome mental states that bind you, and you must conquer the 4 kinds of Mara in order to free yourself from the prisons of the 5 aggregates and the 3 worlds. The fifth realization is the awareness that ignorance is the cause of endless round of birth and death. Bodhisattvas always listen to and learn from others so their understanding and skillful means can develop, and so they can teach living beings and bring them great joy. The sixth realization is the awareness that poverty creates hatred and anger, which creates a vicious cycle of negative thoughts and actions. When practicing generosity, Bodhisattvas consider everyone, friends and enemies alike, to be equal. They do not condemn anyone's past wrongdoings or hate even those presently causing harm. The seventh realization is the awareness that the 5 categories of sensual desire, money, sex, fame, overeating, and oversleeping, lead to problems. Although you are in the world, try not to be caught in worldly matters. A monk, for example, has in his possession only 3 robes and 1 bowl. He lives simply in order to practice the way. His precepts keep him free of attachment to worldly things, and he treats everyone equally and with compassion. The eighth realization is the awareness that the fire of birth and death is raging, causing endless suffering everywhere. Take the great vow to help all beings, to suffer with all beings, and to guide all beings to the realm of great joy. These 8 realizations are the discoveries of great beings, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who have practiced diligently the way of understanding and love. They have sailed the Dharmakaya boat to the shore of Nirvana and have then returned to the ordinary world, free of the 5 sensual desires, their minds and hearts directed towards the normal way. Using these 8 realizations, they help all beings recognize the suffering in the world. If disciples of the Buddha recite and meditate on these 8 realizations, they will put an end to countless misunderstandings and difficulties and progress towards enlightenment, leaving behind a world of birth and death, dwelling forever in peace.
Kính mời đại chúng mở trang số 20. Please turn to page 20. Đệ tử chúng có từ vô thầy dạy báo niệm chưa bởi là mê và sinh ra từ biết bao lần nay đến trước đại vô thường gian biệt trên khổ lâu con ta nguyện sống đời lành đến thơm hàng nước nhớ thơm vào lên thuyền từ vừa qua biển ngộ con đũa tiên ra khỏi rừng mê và tự tu sẽ quyết hành trì tha miệng ý nói về cha kiến đi đứng nằm nói trong chân niệm và ra cười nói thương đó nghiêm mỗi khi ta buồn giận lo phiền nguyện diêm điểm trở về hơi thở mỗi bữa chơi đi vào từng đầu mọi cái nhìn thấy được pháp thân khi sao ca tiếng số sao trần đều biết tình chuyện vòng hộ tận khi năm xưa rồi truyền hoa vừa ta tuệ giả nơi trong hoa niềm vui đến khắp mọi nhà do tôn nêu người muôn lối cầu ta tha sẽ nguyện ở lại ở nơi cõi đời làm việc độ sinh dài phương này xa núi chân mình cuối sinh được từ bi hiểm thờ phùng hiến cam lộ vì phá được như thái sẽ mỗi lời là quyền về đưa bao đại từ nam mô đa bồ tát phật cúng dường nam mô đa bồ tát phật cúng dường nam mô đa bồ tát phật cúng Please release your legs before standing up. In gratitude to our parents that give us life and our country that keeps us safe, we bow deeply to the three jewels in the 10 directions. Đệ tử chúng con nhớ cha mẹ sanh thành quân dân bào hồn, cúi đầu kính lễ tang báo thường trụ trong mười phương. In gratitude to our teachers and friends that support us on the path, we bow deeply to the three jewels in the 10 directions. Đệ tử chúng con nhớ sư trưởng giáo huấn luyện vị tinh thí đặng nam, cúi đầu kính lễ tang báo thường trụ trong mười phương. In gratitude to all the plants, animals, and mineral world, we bow deeply to the three jewels in the 10 directions. Đệ tử chúng con nhớ mọi loài chúng sanh cây cỏ đất đá, cúi đầu kính lễ tang báo thường trụ trong mười phương. Khi Đức Phật kính mời đại chúng cùng an tọa. Please be seated. Con xin phép thông báo tuần sau ngày thứ Bảy lúc 9 giờ sáng là nay tư bác quan trai đầu tiên, và ngày thứ là ngày Chủ nhật 5 tây tháng 2 lúc 10 rưỡi sáng thì chúng ta sẽ cúng rằm tháng Giêng, dỗ tổ và cúng linh. Xin là chúng cùng liễu tri. Sau đây chúng ta sẽ mời sư em Trân Tạng cùng chia sẻ bằng tiếng Anh, và sau đó chúng ta sẽ cúng linh.
Nam mô A Di Đà Phật. Kính thưa quý bác, kính thưa quý cô, quý chú, kính thưa toàn thể đại chúng, kính bạch quý thầy. Hôm nay trước khi con xin phép được chia sẻ một chút xíu bằng tiếng Anh cho các bạn trẻ, thì kính mời đại chúng ta cùng nhau chắp tay và niệm hồng danh của Đức Bổn Sư 3 lần. So, dear friends, before I would like to start our small sharing today, I would like to invite everyone to join their palms, representing a flower of gratitude, and we will recite the name of the Buddha 3 times. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Phật.
Good morning, dear friends. Good morning, dear community. Today is Sunday, January 29th, year 2023, and we are here at the Trúc Lâm Monastery for our weekly Sunday service. How are you all doing today? That's wonderful. So we just finished our first couple of days of the new year, and I hope that everybody had a good new year so far, with a lot of new things, a lot of moments of joy, and a lot of happiness in the new year. So usually when we come to the monastery in the new year, when we enter the new year, it is a tradition in the monasteries, and especially in the Vietnamese temples, to chant the Medicine Buddha texts, or the sutras on the Medicine Buddha. So I know we all come to the monastery and we see a lot of statues, we see a lot of symbolism, and so today I would like to take this time to share a little bit, and together we will briefly discover the Medicine Buddha, and in which way the Medicine Buddha can inspire and guide us in our practice and our cultivation. So you see the really big statue here behind me is Shakyamuni Buddha, the historical Buddha, who was a prince, and the prince being sheltered in the palace, one day he found out about the many kinds of suffering that exists in life, and a deep desire, a deep will in him wanted to do something so then he and the people who he loved wouldn't end up suffering in the same way. So he renounced all of his riches, his royal palace, his loving family, to find the path, the answer to how to be happy. So this is the historical Buddha, and through the historical Buddha, we are taught the teachings, the Dharma, and the historical Buddha also introduced us to many more Buddhas. And one of these very important Buddhas, especially in the Vietnamese tradition, the Chinese tradition, the Tibetan tradition of Buddhism, the Mahayana tradition in general, is the Medicine Buddha. And the Medicine Buddha is the blue statue that you see sitting in the middle, with the other colorful statues sitting around. So, as you can see, around this time we have these 7 beautiful statues up here. And the big blue one is the main representative. And according to the scriptures, there are a total of 7 of them, all with different names, different qualities, and their own promises and own vows to benefit all beings. So today we will discover more about the Medicine Buddha. For those of our friends who might be curious, it's nice to know a little bit about the different statues and the different Buddhas that we have in our practice. So the Medicine Buddha, we know of this Buddha only by the introduction of the historical Buddha, or Shakyamuni Buddha. So for example, let's say, who here has met the Dalai Lama before? Or who here knows of the Dalai Lama? I know the Dalai Lama. So I've never seen the Dalai Lama before, but I've been introduced to him by books. I've been introduced to the Dalai Lama through other teachers. And maybe there is a relative that we have never seen, maybe it's our great-grandma, great-grandpa, somewhere in Vietnam. And we've never got to meet them before, but we are introduced to them by our parents. And we always hear all sorts of great stories about them, or these people that we don't know directly, but are somehow introduced to these great people through the people that we know. So the Medicine Buddha is introduced to us through a text, a sutra called the Baisaja Guru Vaidura Prabha Rajaya Sutra. And Baisaja means doctor, or healer, or medicine. And Guru means teacher. Vaidura means, some people translate it as lapis lazuli. You guys know lapis lazuli is a kind of semi-precious stone. There's also another translation that translates Vaidura as beryl. And beryl is a kind of precious stone that is very, very clear, translucent, and reflective to light. So it's a very beautiful bluish gemstone. Prabha is light, and Raja means king. And Sutram means discourse or teaching. So the Medicine Buddha, in the Medicine Buddha Sutra, the Buddha speaks to his assembly upon request about the merits and virtues of the Medicine Buddha's Pure Land. And the Medicine Buddha's Buddha world, or his Pure Land, is called Beryl Radiance, or Lapis Lazuli Radiance. And he gives very detailed teachings and explanations on the 12 great vows that the Medicine Buddha made when he was a bodhisattva. So in Buddhism, we have the Buddhas, and then we have the bodhisattvas. And bodhisattvas are kind of like helpers. You can think of like Buddhas as superheroes, and the bodhisattvas kind of like as sidekicks. So in the Buddhist world, the Buddhas are the teachers, and the bodhisattvas are the assistants. And the word bodhisattva means a being who has awakened, or on the verge, or is aspiring to awaken. So in some way, we all here are bodhisattvas, but we are newbie bodhisattvas. So we're not very, very great bodhisattvas yet, because we have not perfected our practice and are not at that stage of close or on the verge, the bending of awakening. But we have small moments of awakening in our daily life, right? For example, when we didn't sleep the night before, and then the next day we are really tired, and then we realize maybe I should have slept last night instead of watching Netflix or something like that. So that's our small moment of awakening. But the great bodhisattvas have big moments of awakening, and they understand the truth, the reality of everything as it is. So everyone, before we should go further, let's talk about the term Buddha. Everyone can be a Buddha, and this is what the Buddha taught himself. A Buddha, the word Buddha means awakened, and someone who has developed his good qualities. He's aware of the bad qualities that are inside of himself. We are aware of our own shortcomings, and we do something to make ourselves better, to change, and at the highest point, to become the most beautiful person that we can be, to become the best version of ourselves that we can be, to the highest perfection of love, of compassion, of kindness, of tolerance. We become a Buddha when we've transformed all of our negative qualities. So they do this to themselves, and in turn, they help everyone around them do the same thing. So that's what we say, or we mean when we use the Buddha, the word Buddha, to address our teacher Shakyamuni, because he understood deeply the sufferings of people, including himself, and he found a way to transform that suffering and to develop all of the good qualities in him to perfect his practice to the highest point of understanding and love. So the Buddha is like an extraordinary teacher. And in this case of the Medicine Buddha, we can kind of think of him as a physician or a doctor. But the Buddha is in no way a god. The Buddha can bestow blessings on us. He can bless us, but only if we put his teachings into practice. And that is the only way that we will receive blessings from the Buddha. We always greet each other in the monastery, and sometimes we wish well for each other. May you be blessed by the triple gem, which is the Buddha, his teachings, and his harmonious community. Or we say, Buddha bless you. So the Buddha can bless us and has already blessed us with his teachings. And all we have to do is put those teachings into practice. And the Buddhas can help us be happy. But that's only if we follow their footsteps. For example, as lay Buddhist practitioners, we have guidance by the Buddha. The Buddha taught us the 5 precepts, or the 5 trainings, which is not to kill, being aware of the suffering that is caused by the destruction of life. We don't kill. We don't take lives away from the lives of others away from them. For example, if you're a spider, I know maybe some of us don't really like spiders, and I know many people who don't like spiders, but one time I read this thing on the internet, and somebody said, if you were a spider and somebody found you at the wrong place, at the wrong time, would you like your life to be ended during that moment? Probably not. So having compassion to all beings and understanding that all beings have the right to live, we protect their lives, and we try our best to practice this in our daily life. So if we don't practice killing, if we don't kill, then we never have to be afraid that we will go into jail because we committed murder. Or if we refrain from killing, we avoid watering the negative seeds inside of us, the seeds of violence. If we can kill an animal for no reason, to our personal pleasure, then it is very easy for us later on to develop the habit of hitting someone just because we feel angry, for example. So practicing not to kill is the medicine. Practicing not to kill is the teaching. And if we put that into our daily lives to practice, it will help us greatly. Not to lie. If we don't lie, we don't have to think up of more lies to cover up our lie. And eventually it becomes very tiring to have to lie and to live under the truth and always worry on the inside that one day somebody's going to find out what you did. So if you live a righteous life, if you don't lie, then there's nothing to be afraid about. So isn't that a blessing? Not to cheat on our partners is the third mindfulness training. To be faithful and to understand that we need to build the happiness, and we need to find a way to nourish our relationships and most importantly, be faithful to those who love us a lot. If we don't cheat, then of course there's no broken families, right? There will be broken families for a number of other reasons, but cheating is one of the very big reasons that families are broken. So if we know how to nourish our relationship, to work what we have, to enrich what we already have, then we will be very, very happy. The fourth one is not to, I had it backwards. The first one is not to kill. The second one is not to steal. The third one is not to cheat. The fourth one is not to lie. And the fifth one is not to intoxicate ourselves. So if we practice not to smoke, I remember Tai always says, we pay money in order to burn our lungs. Technically, yeah, trả tiền mua thuốc để mà mình đốt phổi của mình. And that is very true, right? If we didn't smoke, or if we can practice to not smoke, we transform the seed, the possibility of the extra possibility of having cancer. So isn't that a blessing when you live a happy and healthy life? It's like a doctor. The Buddha is a doctor who gives us this medicine, the 5 precepts. He gives us the practice of deep listening, the practice of loving speech. But we as patients, we're lazy to drink the medicine. And if we're lazy to drink the medicine, and the medicine is not being consumed on a consistent basis, we will never get cured. So the Buddha is there. Although he is giving us guidance, he is giving us help, but we ourselves have to drink that medicine. And we have to listen to the doctor. And we believe in the vast universe, there are many Buddhas who guide us. In this present world, there is Shakyamuni Buddha, and because we are continuing still to discover that beyond what we know, beyond this world, beyond this universe, there are other universes out there that exist. And we don't know enough about them to say that Buddha lands don't exist out there. So, as the students of the Buddha and practitioners of the teachings, wherever we go, wherever we are, we always wish that we will always be under the guidance and the help of the Buddhas. So the medicine Buddha is one of the many Buddhas in this universe. Although his world is far away from us, but it can be very, very close to us as well. And he helps to guide beings to transform their illnesses, hence he is called the medicine Buddha, suffering, natural disasters, misery, and as well as temporarily the acquisition of property and happiness in this lifetime. Not property, but prosperity. I mean, who doesn't want to have prosperity? You know, we all have to have money, and we all want to be wealthy and well off. So the Medicine Buddha also gives us a little bit of this benefit. And he lives in a land called the land of pure beryl radiance. The reason why the Medicine Buddha also promised in his 12 vows to help us in the acquisition of prosperity and happiness in this lifetime, and also he promised to us a world where all the conditions of practice are sufficient, because the Buddhas know what we want, and we know what we want also. And from their compassion, they give us the benefits. They give us the something that we are looking for. And in this life, all of us are looking for wealth. We're all looking for a way to survive. We're all looking to be happy. But in the end, their main purpose, their main goal, is still to give us the way to transform our suffering. Like when we want our kids to grow healthy, and we see that they're a little bit skinny, we might buy some supplements for them. But at first, if you buy the normal kinds of supplements, they'll be very lazy to drink that supplement. But if you give them vitamin gummies that are all sorts of colors and have strawberry taste, mango taste, orange taste, then our kids will love to eat that more. And each day they will look forward to consuming that medicine. So it's only a skillful means, but in the end, it delivers us to have good health. So the Buddha knows us. He knows that we as children, we like in this life to have a long life. We like to have prosperity. We like to have good health. So he gives us this temporarily, but only to deliver us the Dharma, the teachings. When we go to the doctors, or go to the dentist, or at least for me, I remember when I was little, I would always look forward to going to the dentist because of how the dentist office looked. It was very, very clean, and you just go in there and you lie down, and the dentist does all the work, and then when you go out, they give you a prize. So they pull open a drawer, and inside of the drawer there's like yo-yos, there's a silly putty, and you can pick anything that you want. So the Buddhas are very, very tamli. They know our minds very, very well. So they give us this in order to deliver us to what is true, the path to awakening. So in the land of the Medicine Buddha, which is called the land of beryl radiance, everything there is very, very much described as based on things that we like. For example, that place doesn't have any suffering. The place is made from radiant beryl gemstone and the 7 precious treasures, which is gold, silver, crystal, lapis lazuli, carnelian, coral, and pearls. And in our mind we think, is it possible to create a world like that, where everything is made out of gold, silver, crystal, lapis lazuli, carnelian, etc.? Well, these 7 treasures, so-called in Buddhism, represent 7 qualities, and they symbolize something. So they represent faith, perseverance, a sense of guilt and shame, avoidance of wrongdoing, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. So first we have faith in the practice. And faith here is not faith in the Buddha, it's faith in the teachings of the Buddha, faith in the way, faith in the medicine. And then we drink the medicine, or we practice the teachings. We're very, very diligent. But, as human beings, we all know that we only practice for a couple of days and then we give up. And that's the difference between us and the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas and the great masters, is that they keep practicing consistently. For us, we're on and off, so we're temporary. And because we already have faith, we have perseverance, but then we give up we need to have a little bit of sense of shame in there. Now, there's positive shame, and there's also a negative sense of shame. There's a sense of shame that will drown you, that will cause you not to flourish, but there's also a sense of shame and regret that will cause you to be more skillful next time. For example, our teacher, Thai, whenever I get in trouble, Thai doesn't have to say anything. He doesn't yell at us, he doesn't get angry with us, but he just has this way of looking at you. And when he looks at you, you know you did something wrong. And he's a teacher, so he has a way with words. So when he says something, it's very loving, very compassionate, but inside it makes it feel like you wish you were never born. So he has a way with words, and our teacher is very skillful in that way. But once we have that sense of shame, when we have sense of shame, then in the future we avoid doing wrong things. It's very important. A person without any sense of shame will continue to do wrongdoings. So sense of shame is very important. And then with the practice of avoiding doing wrong things, we gain mindfulness. We are more clear, we're more alert. When we don't have so many problems from our negative actions, we become more clear and alert. And we become more focused, more present, more mindful. And mindfulness, clear seeing, brings concentration. And then from concentration, when our mind is calm and still, wisdom arises. So these are the meanings of the 7 treasures, which help us on the path of practice. So, of course, we won't have enough time today to share all about the sutra itself. And hopefully one day I'll be able to share the whole sutra itself in many, many episodes. But today we will just continue to have an overview of the sutra. So another important point is he made these vows when he was a bodhisattva. And as we mentioned earlier, bodhisattva means an aspirant of awakening, someone who aspires to become a Buddha. The Buddha said we will all become Buddhas. And currently, as of me and you, as long as we have the intention of helping ourselves, of helping others, transform our suffering, transform our loved one's suffering, and discover and find the path to happiness, we are already small bodhisattvas. So if we're a bodhisattva, we have to generate a vow. We have to have volition. We have to have a goal. And from our teacher, the Medicine Buddha, and the bodhisattvas, we learn, after their example, to make vows and aspirations. And from vows and aspirations, great things are born, great things are made. For example, this place here. Before 1997, it was just a bunch of houses, 4 or 5 houses stuck together. This temple didn't exist, right? But a monk came from overseas on a boat here, and he found a young disciple somewhere far, far away from Vietnam. He came here. Out of all the conditions that could have brought him here, he found a disciple. And together they wanted to make a place where everyone can come to practice and learn the teachings of the Buddha in order to benefit themselves and others, for people to be able to benefit themselves and others and live happily. So, especially to the Vietnamese community at that time, a temple meant something very important. So, to support the Vietnamese people spiritually, as well as physically, finally, when enough conditions came together, they began to shape this temple in their minds. So they had the vow to build Trúc Lâm monastery, but it all started in here. It must all start in here first. And the Buddha world is exactly the same. When the Buddha had the aspiration, when he understood the needs of the people, he made a world. And that world continues to help people. And for every single one of us, we have our own worlds. And in a moment here, I'll share with you how you can make the aspiration to make your world a beautiful place. So first they began to shape it in their minds. And through that first aspiration, that spark, through everyone's devoted effort and the many different conditions, they shaped this practice center. It's incredible, isn't it? How much that our mind can actually do. I remember Thầy explained in one of his talks, every Buddha land comes from these 4 conditions. The first one is phát nguyện, which is to make a vow. And khi mà mình phát nguyện thì tự khắc mình sẽ tìm một quốc độ. So we will find a place, a dwelling place, a land. Và khi có quốc độ thì nếu mà có quốc độ thì phải có chúng sanh. And when we have living beings, when we have a place, we will have living beings. And we have living beings, we have accomplishment. We're complete. Khi mà mình có đủ 4 yếu tố là lời phát nguyện, mình có quốc độ, mình có chúng sanh cần đến mình, thì mình sẽ thành tựu ước nguyện của mình. Và Phật Diệt Sư, the Medicine Buddha, built his land on the basis of these 4 factors. At the beginning, it's just merely a thought. And this is how important it is. That's why in Buddhism, we always encourage everyone to water good seeds, good thoughts in our mind. Sometimes it's just a small water drop, but the longer you allow that water, drop by drop, to go into your pot, one day that pot will become full. So we are aspirants of awakening, although we're not great aspirants of awakening yet, but we are, in a way, practicing the path. We are helpers of the Medicine Buddha. And you can think of the Medicine Buddha as kind of your own capacity to be able to find enlightenment, to heal. And the beings that are to be helped is ourself. What is our illness? We have illnesses of anger, we have the sickness of greed, we have the sickness of discrimination. Our sickness of states of confusion and ignorance causes always to suffer, again and again. Bệnh và khổ hoài. We suffer and we're ill all the time. So we need to allow the Medicine Buddha, or allow the healing capacity, the capacity of awareness inside of ourselves, to treat those beings. In one of the repentance texts, there is a paragraph that I love very, very much, and to the Vietnamese community, we've been chanting it for the past couple of days, and I just briefly translate it here, so then we can enjoy it together. There is a great medicine king who prescribed medicine accordingly to our illnesses. Loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity is medicine. Tolerance, patience, and harmony is medicine. Right faith in the 3 jewels is medicine. How can we say right faith in the 3 jewels is medicine? Because we can go to the temple and still have wrong faith. We can be here for 10 hours, for a whole day, and even live in the temple, but still have wrong faith. And so what is right faith and what is wrong faith? For example, we go to the Buddha, we go to the Medicine Buddha, pray and ask for us to be healed, ask for healing to be taken place, to speed up, so that we can have healthy lungs, but we smoke. So it doesn't match up. And the Buddha said, although the Buddha can bestow on us his teachings, his way of practice, but the Buddha said we have to walk the path ourselves. Diligent to cultivate merits and wisdom is medicine. The 6 perfections are the medication. Eating to our full the sweet nectar of compassion is medication. Eager to receive the taste of the teaching is medicine. Cultivation of truth and energy is medicine. Self-reflection leading to restoration is medicine. Knowing how to change when we have made mistakes is medicine. A very, very wonderful medicine is knowing how to change when we make mistakes. And this will help our loved ones be happy as well as ourselves. It's always there, the medicine is always there, but we don't take it. And I know for myself included that I don't take it. And sometimes I'm lazy to take it too. So we're on this path together. Knowing how to use skillful means is medicine. Not being moved by sweet sounds or physical beauty is medication. So I'll tell you this story of when I was studying in Plum Village, France. And every week, there's people from all over the world that come to participate in the retreat, in the practice center, where they learn about meditation, about mindful living, about how to improve their life by practicing the teachings. And one time, it was after lunchtime, and we all went to go do our dishes. And I was walking down the steps, and then just in front of my vision, there was somebody quite tall, with long hair, and in my mind, at that moment, my mind, of course, started to jump around like a monkey, and I said, wow, this must be a very beautiful person. And of course, in my mind at that moment, I thought it was a lady. And then I looked in that direction because my gaze was already set on that direction, and a couple seconds later, that person turned around and it was a man with long hair. So don't be fooled by what we see. So not being moved by these physical traits of beauty and not being moved by sweet sounds, no matter if our loved one has the sweetest voice in the whole wide world, one day that voice will become coarse and shaky. No matter how beautiful we are at our youth in our appearance, one day our skin will sag. And as much as we try to bring that youth back, the only thing that we can truly bring to the end of our lives is how beautifully we have lived. So the monks, they shave their heads, they wear weird clothes, they give up a lot of things. And to a lot of people, we look cool, but to some people, we look weird. And it's taking off all of the outer beauty. We don't use makeup, we don't have hair, we don't wear trendy clothing, because we want to allow the true beauty inside to be discovered. We want people to come to us because of our true beauty, not the outside beauty. That is very subject to change and impermanence. Calming the mind and ending negative passions is medicine. Like we heard in the discourse on the 8 realizations, tất cả những cái khổ và cực nhập trong cõi sinh tử đều do ham muốn mà có. Everything that we desire, all the things that we suffer because of are based on our desire, because we just chase and chase and chase. Calming the mind and ending negative passions is medicine. Regularly pounding, sorting, and harmonizing them so that we may consume them regularly. So we have to put effort. We have to pound the medicine, we have to sort the medicine, pick the medicine, harmonize the medicine according to our illness, and consume that medicine on a regular basis. We won't expect that we will be perfect right away, right? And all the things mentioned above, knowing how to change when we make mistakes, not being moved by sounds or physical beauty, or seeing things as they are. Not being moved by sweet sounds or physical beauty doesn't mean we become a rock. It's just we are not, we don't become emotionless, but seeing things as they are, understanding the nature of physical beauty, understanding the nature of all that is. And when we do this on a regular basis, when we consume this medication, we can bring a lot of improvement in our daily lives and the lives of the people who we love. And once we cure ourselves, and once we are healthy, we can help other people. We can help those that we love. And this is the best way to show your love to your parents. The best way for parents to show their love to their children is to cure themselves first. And we can see this because I'm sure you might remember in school when we studied about ecosystems and how they're all interrelated. Yeah. We are very, very much affected by the people around us. And all of us, we have our own worlds. We have our own ecosystems. And if one ecosystem is failing, the other ecosystems will fail too. And whether we are accomplished, it depends on the development of our inner world, our inner mind, our own world. And we look at the practice, we see the Buddhas, and we say, why? How come the Buddhas have such wonderful worlds? How come everybody is so happy? And I still find myself struggling a lot. It's because we are still stuck in that vicious cycle of repeating those things again and again, and refusing to drink our medicine, refusing to take the initiative to find the cure, or not to find the cure, to receive the treatment. So with the help of the Medicine Buddha, we find the nature of the medicine that is inside of us. It's always there, it's inherent, it's in all of us. To hear ourselves, and first we have motivation, then we have our action, and in the end we will finally have results. But we need to continue to feel ourselves, to motivate ourselves. Coming to the temple on Sundays to listen to the teachings, to refresh as well as to be inspired to practice is a good way to motivate ourselves. And then listening to the teachings, putting them into action, is a way of practice. And in the end, when there is when there is income, there will be outcome. And as you see, there are 7 Medicine Buddhas, and I don't think we have enough time to talk about all 7 of them, but maybe we can save this for next time. They all stay in the direction of the East, and they all have their own worlds, their own vows, that we can continue to discover. So to wrap it up, we may not be perfect at doing everything, but the one thing that we can do is do the things that we do best and start with that. And then in the end, we work further to try to perfect the things that we haven't perfected yet. So the Buddhas are kind of like doctors, right? And we are kind of like doctors to ourselves. We can think of ourselves as cooks even, and we all have our own special symbolic dish. And each of the Buddhas are the same. Medicine Buddha is the master of healing. Shakyamuni symbolizes diligence. Amitabha symbolizes boundless compassion and light. And we use that power in us to the highest, put it to the highest use and potential that we can. And in the end, when one thing leads, everything else will follow. Seeing the suffering of our loved ones, seeing that sometimes we still have a lot of difficulties in communication, in understanding each other, that's why we want to practice. And we practice because we love each other. We love our brothers and sisters, we love our parents, and that's why we want to find a way to listen deeply to their suffering, to transform their suffering, to create a world for us where we feel happy and safe, and in order to recreate that world for those people around us who we love very much. And that is the greatest gift that we can give. Ultimately, the goal is to attain Buddhahood, to be the best version of a human being that you can be. And I'm also on this path with you. I wish you a very happy new year with a lot of happiness, joy, and as well as auspiciousness and good fortune. Thank you so much for your listening. So, dear community, please feel free to stretch out your legs, to massage your legs, and in a bit, when we hear the sound of the small bell, we will stand up, bow once to the Buddha, and then we will head over to the ancestral altar.